when I was driving here, I was just come up, I was listening to the Srila Prabhupada, who translated his books, and his explanation is like very, very simple, but very sublime, it's like unbelievable. Every time I hear him, I'm just like, wow, so simple, but there's so much in it, like so much, so easily explained. So he was explaining about different, do you hear about the caste system in India, the caste system? It's like you have brahmanas, which is like religious people or teachers. Okay. It's like this, supposed to be head, like they know things, so they teach the others spiritual knowledge, any knowledge they can teach. You have kshatriyas, it's like arms. They protect everything, it's like kings, saintly kings. They go in the direction of the head of the brahmanas. You have a stomach, which is vaishyas or merchants. So compared to the body, it's like, and you have shudras, which is the legs, like people who works and everything, and support everything. So he compared to the body, because we have different mentalities, right? Not everybody is the same, So we have a work according to our mentality. We don't need to do, like Bhagavad Gita will explain, to do somebody else's work is troublesome. It's kind of, you cannot really succeed, you cannot develop yourself nicely. So each, like caste, we call it caste,
Okay.
But it's like according to your, called guna and karma, according to your qualities in your work. So, and it's compared to the body. So you have legs, stomach, like arms who protect, and the head who thinks, like this. So this is society. And this society, supposed to be godly, so supposed to be connected to God. So it's like this, each and every person have his part, and he can like connect himself to spirituality. Also, he explaining like, you cannot, for example, you cannot act independently, because if your hands, we act independently, eat the food through the hands, chew, it will get weaker, If you had, also you'll think independently, or legs, whatever, If you want to nourish everything, you put your foot into the mouth, into the stomach. So everybody have to go to work, have to do something, like this, So this, it's very harmonical. And it said the God is like a stomach, and we are like legs and arms and head, like this. And we have to put food into the stomach. We have to work to please God, In this way, we will be nourished very much. Because He's like, the center of everything. And He connects everybody together. So I thought this was very nicely explained. Like this. As we are trying to always in this world, the material world is like, it's a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Everything starts from spiritual world, right? Everything like emanates from there, so it's from God, like from creation and everything. But it's like a little bit perverted because it's temporary and spiritual world is eternal. It's full of ignorance because who knows what's going on nowadays? Nobody understands. And the spiritual world is harmony and knowledge and everything. And material world is temporary, and spiritual world is eternal. So it's Satchitananda, eternity, knowledge and bliss, and you see. So, what was my point?
Prabhupada easily explains this system compared to
system, and said, I wanted to say something else. Sometimes you just try.
You want.
That will come back. So yeah.
But you don't agree with the caste system, right?
Caste, why not?
Oh, okay. I thought you were criticizing it.
Not at all. Why?
I thought that last time you said.
Nowadays, caste system goes according to birth. You're born into a certain family, and this is who you are. Like I'm Jewish. You see, so Jews. If you're born Jewish, you're Jewish. That's it. You are chosen. Everything is like follows. Doesn't matter what you do. This is how they say. Whatever you do, you are special. Anyway, like you're chosen by God. But it's not true. If you do different activity, it's not according to birth. Like you have, possibility to do this. Like if you're born in a family of doctors, and everybody is a doctor, there's a good chance you're going to be a doctor. If you're born in a king's family, in like royalty, you're going to be royalty. It's a good chance, but you also can go away. Like it's not like this. It's not 100%. So everybody born, and according to the qualities we act. So it's also these qualities. According to the modes of material nature. Material nature, she influences us in 3 modes, like goodness, ignorance, and passion. Everything is like 3 colors painted, because that's why we are different. We have different bodies, different understanding. More ignorance, we like this. More passion, we're more active. We have goal-oriented. More goodness, we're more peaceful. Everything is like like this. So according to this, we have different abilities and different work. You see. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was wondering is, I know from the Jewish thing is that some people may, like they say they hate Philistine, or Philistine people hate the Jewish. They may become that in the next life, versus like the 7th caste hates the 1st caste. They may become that. Does Bhagavad Gita support that belief?
According to Bhagavad Gita and law of karma, whatever consciousness you develop to the end of your life, to the moment of death, this is what you're going to go. But easier to say, whatever you think in the moment of death, this is what you become.
Yeah.
So it's actually really could be funny,
Yeah.
Like, what is his name? Like, for example, if you're like been a Nazi, in a German, and you hate Jews, and everything, you become a Jew, and you hate everybody else as well. It's like this. This is really like, the God is really funny. It's like he will give you this. This is what you want. So he'll give you whatever you desire.
Does he give you that because it's like a conscious thought constantly in your head?
Consciousness means you develop it in your life. You live in a certain way, and you think certain things. Like this, and that's where you go, because this is what you want, right? So he fulfills all desires. He fulfills all your desires, because we want to enjoy separately from God. So he said, okay, this is what you desire, go ahead. You cannot force anybody to love, right? So you can't come and love me. It doesn't work. You have to become natural. Even if this person is most beautiful, most kind, most loving and everything, you cannot force it. Otherwise, it would not be natural. It would not bring you happiness and everything. It was artificial. It's not artificial. The God consciousness is not artificial thing. It's a natural thing of the soul. It's our natural position of the soul is to love God and have a relationship with Him, loving relationship.
And would you say God gives people so many chances until death, so that they change maybe that hate mind? But if they didn't change it, then that's when karma is more initiated.
No, karma is always going on.
Yeah.
Until you surrender to God, karma is always. So karma is like a payment for your activity. You do something, you get reaction for it.
Yeah.
Always. No exception. You cannot cheat it.
I'm talking about those Jewish people or Philistine people reincarnating eventually as the other tribe. In that say, still God gives them so many chances until that.
Always. It's so merciful. Give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
Everyone get a chance. It's up to us to get. It's like rain goes in the ocean as well, But nothing grows there. If it's the soil is fertile, little rain, everything grows. The same thing is said about love of God. It's called Bhakti Creeper, the plant of love, you can say, little plant of love. So little mercy, this will grow. You see, if it's covered by a stone and everything, it will be more difficult. If you have egoistic tendencies, you're not. Practically speaking, not humble and sincere, humility is a key to this, not stupidity, but humility, and sincerity. You really want to know, not just and you will be tested and everything to purify, to become like it said, Anyabilashita sunyam jnana karmanurita. So it's have to be devoid of all selfish desires, the love, like devoid of desire for knowledge. I know so much, it's bringing pride, or devoid of jnana karma, or I'm so wealthy, I'm so good, my karma is so great, like this. It's not compatible to whatever is spiritual world or God, Krishna can offer. Everybody is beautiful in spiritual world and knows so much. We cannot compare it. Even in the heavenly planets is like they said in the heavenly planets the woman is so fragrant, nicely, naturally. It's like how many yojanas? It's like 40 kilometers radius. You can smell the beautiful smell. So here, put wrong deodorant, you stink. If you don't, it's incomparable. Even here in the material world, the heavenly planets, according to Bhagavad Gita, is a material plane. Everything is nice, like everybody beautiful, everybody no disease, no death, no birth, everything is very nice. Everybody dancing if they want, drinking samaras, nectar, which is making you even more healthy and beautiful, But this is like the difference from the spiritual world to the material world. It's like here we are in the center. We're trying to be God. We're trying to enjoy for ourselves. And there, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, the God is the supreme enjoyer. We have a relationship with him, with love and affection, like this. Here, we want to be, that's why everything in the material world is so difficult. I pointed out, like outside, because everybody trying to play God here, everyone, little one at least, but nobody's successful, no one. Even if you have power and if you have riches, you will not be successful. As Bhagavad Gita explained, Kalasmin, Krishna comes as time and he destroys everything. You see, like this, time. Time here is a factor, like temporary factor. In the spiritual world, time is serving God. So their time doesn't exist as it is. It's like, the night is because it's a beautiful time to do something. Like the morning because everybody waiting for Krishna to come, like everything's like that. So it's a little different from here. All right? Any other questions? We never read Bhagavad Gita, we just, always everybody else. But it's very nice, last time we read a few pages, a few shlokas, few texts, and it was actually very nice. I found it really, really nice. So Bhagavad Gita, it's like you didn't hear about Bhagavad Gita, right? You don't know this book.
No, I don't know this.
Okay, so this book it's a war. It's a great religious war. It's which runs in a royal family, inside family. So family, you have like one side is they call it in Sanskrit Kauravas. This is a family name, let's say. 5 brothers who are supposed to be emperors and kings of the world. And another side, it's Kauravas and Pandavas. Oh, so the brothers are Pandavas. This is the family name Pandava, because they've been born from his father name was Pandu, and the brother of his father Pandu, his name is Dhritarashtra, a little bit difficult. He have also many sons, and they're not really saintly. The kings were good people, but they're not really like religious and saintly people. So it's come to the point. So there's a war, religious war. So from one side you have Kauravas, and from other side Pandavas. And Krishna, who is God, is a friend of Arjuna. You can see there, it's like, yeah, this is Arjuna, and Krishna is actually a charioteer. He's driving. They're friends, and they come to fight. So Arjuna is a great warrior. He's like the most amazing warrior in the world. He could like easily defeat everybody. But like come time to fight, and Arjuna sees all his friends and relatives from other side, and he's really upset about this war. He didn't want to fight. He started asking Krishna questions. So we come to the middle, and he surrendered to Krishna as a disciple and asked Krishna questions. And Krishna explained him everything, like all the knowledge about spiritual life, about soul, about relationship, about dealing in the world, and how to deal with it. This is Bhagavad Gita. You see? Like this. So the first chapter is introduction. It's just like how they assemble the army, and that Arjuna become like bewildered, he didn't want to fight. And the second chapter, it's a summary of Bhagavad Gita. So the second chapter is actually, we start on this. So we did...
I think we're text 4.
Text 4. Text 4, Arjuna can kill all the enemies. Mother, we already did. I did text 5, I think. It'd be better to leave from this one. So we start from text 5, okay? So, like this. Okay. So, beginning is a Sanskrit. It's a very beautiful language. I'm not very expert in this language, but it's always nice to chant, Guruna tava himaha bhavan shriyo bhaktu bhaksyam apialoke hatvarta kamamstu gurum ihava bunjya boga rudro rudira prajigham. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of the great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we'll enjoy will be tainted with blood. So he didn't want to kill anybody, actually, because he sees his teachers, for some reason they're there, so it's like this. And even here in this life, we try to sometimes, just stop fighting, like, stop, it's enough, how much we can, struggle in this world. We want to renounce everything. Although we have duties to our family, we have duties to society, to everything, we want to just, do nothing, renounce, go to the forest, like this, forget about it. Which is not always good or possible, because we have people who depend on us and everything else. So duty is very important, according to Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. We can utilize it in spiritual life, like in spiritual consciousness to develop our duties. It is also called dharma. Dharma means religious duties. According to the scriptures code, so Bhagavad Gita made like this. You have a text, which is actually Krishna saying. Yeah, and they have commentaries by Srila Prabhupada. So these commentaries is not his own thinking, like I think it's like this, I think it's like that, No, it's this particular, way of explaining things. So everything which Prabhupada explained here is based on the scriptures, based on different scriptures, which is like in line with Bhagavad Gita. You see, so whereas now, that's why it's called Bhagavad-Gītā As It Is, if you see the name. So it's not, he not given his own interpretation, his own feelings, no, he comes from this association, it doesn't change anything, doesn't change the meaning. It's not, have no desire to change it, there is no point for him to do this, People want to be famous, want to show, themselves, how they think, how intelligent they are, how, all these artistic people, they actually express themselves, and they use Bhagavad Gita, but it's not that easy. So, but in Srila Prabhupada, it doesn't change any meaning of this word. That's why. So this book, so it's a very important book in Vedic culture. So it's got about like 900 different translations, different people. It's languages, like, it's very basic. It's like Bible of Vedic culture, of Vedas. No, okay. According to scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the sides of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial consideration. Under the circumstances, they have lost their respectability of teachers. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless there remains his superiors, and therefore they enjoy material profit. After killing them would mean to enjoy spoils stained with blood. So Bhishma and Dronacharya was the teacher of Arjuna. He was a military teacher. So there's many stories about him, but he was like the teacher of all the royalty. So they not discriminate very much, like they teach everybody. And they teach according to their ability. So he teach all the princes. It was like 100 princesses of Kauravas and 5 Pandavas, and also many people come. So we have big school. And he was like the best teacher in the world, you can say. He was like, so military. And he teach Arjuna to be the best archer in the world. Like the best. Before it was more subtle science of warfare. So nowadays we send rockets, like they explode. Like atomic bombs explode. There was an atomic bomb which is called Brahmastra. You chant a specific mantra. Mantra, it's a purified sound. And it's empowered with arrow to become as explosive as so it's so many different tricks, so many different, but it's more subtle, it's not like nowadays. Before, like if you even not so far ago, you have this Japanese, we have some code, fighting, we have some, so much culture, so much like honor, everything. Nowadays it's just money, So it's degraded from like, spirituality to honor to money to, I don't know what's going to happen next, Probably sense gratification, just as I said, like, doesn't go on. Dharmartha come in moksha, like this. So you see his teachers, and even they choose the different side for so many reasons. There are so many reasons if you read the histories. Bhishma couldn't do otherwise, Even if he loved Arjuna, like Bhishma is his grandfather. So he loved Arjuna very much, but he couldn't, he promised to fight for the sake of Kauravas. He promised. So these kings, they're different from nowadays kings. If they say something, it means something. They will not break his word. Whatever it is, he will die, but he will not break his word. It's like lines on the stone. Nothing will happen. So everybody, because the people were pretty pure, they're very, very conscious and pure of what they do. So when they say something, even you can say unconsciously, it's considered to come from the divine, it's not just by chance we're saying things like this. So you look at this teacher, and look at his grandfather.
I don't know where to put it.
And they didn't want to fight. He loves them so much, they give them so much relationship, and they didn't want to fight. So he said, I want to renounce everything. Okay, so next verse. Not do we know which is better, conquer them or being conquered by them. if we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, so its cousins, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Yeah. It's also very much connected to our life, because sometimes we have family members who are actually standing in front of us and trying to do something, which is totally strange. And you have to sometimes decide what you're going to do, or you just renounce everything, or you have to reestablish the principles of religion and, to see the benefit for the people. So, sometimes the same action of charities can be detrimental to the people we give it into us ourselves, It's called charity in the mode of ignorance. So if you see the people they're begging for money, there's also dharma of the beggar. Beggar have to beg in a certain way, and the use of the money have to be pure. Because if somebody take the money, say, I'm so this and that, and not take drugs or just, this. It's just both gonna degrade. Somebody who gives, somebody who take, the degradation is there. So you have to be we have to be really thoughtful about what we do, so it can progress not just materially but spiritually. It's like if you give food, you give spiritual food. You don't know what spiritual food means?
Knowledge?
Huh?
Knowledge?
No. I'm talking about practical food, food which we eat. According to the Shastra, the Bhagavad Gita, every living entity have a spirit, soul. It's the same soul. It's not like human soul and animal soul. Soul is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything which goes through the 6 stages of life have a soul in it. So it's birth, grows, maintain for some time, reproduce, dwindling and death. So 6 stages. So each animal, each plant, anything have a soul inside. Otherwise, this is why it's called living entity. If something not living, it's no soul. Like this. So, and to sustain our life, we have to take somebody's life, because you can have to cook carrots, again carrots, I don't know why. Potatoes, okay, potatoes. Carrots, potatoes, apples you don't kill the tree, but still. So everything, so what to do? In Shastra says, Jiva Jivasya Jivanam, so one living entity is food for another. But human beings have certain type of food, and animal have certain type of food, and what we have to do as a human being, we have to offer this food to God. Like in Christianity, we have thank God for our daily bread. So Krishna consciousness goes a little further. We are preparing everything according to the scripture, because Krishna explained in the scripture what kind of food he likes to eat. And we offer him this love. It's called bhakti yoga. So we prepare this love. At first you taste it, and after we take whatever is left. This is how it goes. So when we take prasad, it's called prasad. Prasad in Sanskrit means mercy. And we give it to others, so we eat ourselves. By eating, we get purified, and everybody else get a spiritual chance. So it's very beneficial as well.
I was just wondering with the beggar thing, because I did get the channeled message as well, like how you're gonna be careful with who you give your money to.
Yeah.
Now, does the same apply to tips, restaurants or Uber or whatever, like wherever we give tips to? Because those people are not beggars.
No.
So in that case, how do we determine that tip? Is it still good to give just everybody, or sometimes depends or something?
I don't know. It's not. It's like it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
If you have, you
Makes
can
sense.
give charity. But I don't know. I'd never give.
But the tip is your gratitude,
Yeah.
and the begging is a bit different, right?
Yeah. This is a great. Yes.
Makes sense.
Beggar have to sit on one place, never argue, and be satisfied with whatever you get. He cannot come to you and ask. This is a dharma or religious duty of the beggar. Somebody have come to this position and come to this position for some reason, But he cannot approach you and ask for money. You have to sit and peacefully wait, so somebody give you.
But what about the Brahmanas who are like collecting Madhukari? They come to
Madhukari is different also.
Are they begging for food? Madhukari is food or money also?
Whatever you give, you have. Yeah, but normally Brahmanas, some renounced people, they come to the house and ask for beg alms, right? So in Sanskrit called Madhukari. Madhu, it's a bee, like a bee comes to the flower, take a little bit, goes to another flower, take a little bit. So Madhukari, once you come to, normally they come to the house of the householders, and when they milk the cow or they prepare food, so they give him some food, some money, whatever they give. It's like this.
Oh, Madhukari, it means he's bringing...
And it's not allowed to go every time to the same house, like you have to go somewhere else because it's dependent on God.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally dependent, it's not dependent.
So he makes good to these people.
Yeah, when he comes there to give his association, speak something, like this, and they're both good.
So he's not a beggar.
No, it's not begging.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Or live by begging is also possible, but this is beggar have a dharma. Dharma means religious duty. It's make him to understand his position in connection to God. So he's humble. He's have to be very humble and respectful, and everything he gets, he sees as a mercy of God, of Krishna, because he got mercy and he didn't endeavor too much for it, It's not easy to beg also. And I was I lived in the monastery for 8 years when I was young, so we did like this Madhukaris. We knock on the door of people sometimes. We used to travel and preach and distribute books like this, and we dress like this with saffron robes, like monks, and knock on the door in the villages, and people like, what is this? What kind of alien is that? And we talk to him about Krishna a little bit, and then he's so happy to give some food and some things, One time we get so many pumpkins, it was like after a week I was orange, so many pumpkins to give us, it was a very nice experience actually. We give some books, it's also exchange of knowledge. And begging people, sometimes people very sick, they cannot do anything, so they sit and beg to maintain themselves, you can say. But still, whatever they get, they have to be, and they cannot come and ask you. That's the dharma, people doing so many things, but that's how it's supposed to be. One time, Srila Prabhupada, it was Kumbh Mela, big gathering in India, of different religious people, different transcendentalists. It was normally in India it's 50 million people come in one place. This is unbelievable. And they come there, and the beggars see white people like dollar sign on your face, they run, in India to you, and he instructed all the disciples. He said, don't give them, only give them when they sit in Chintask. So they learn after a few days, everybody was very, very, very respectful, and everybody get a coin. That's awesome. You see, so we should be conscious, this is why we call it not religion, we call it Krishna consciousness, the consciousness of God. We have to be conscious of, first we have to be conscious of ourselves, and then what's going on around us, and connected to God. And then slowly consciousness develops. And then we die, we think of Krishna, oh God, so we go to God. If you think of dog, we go to dog. Simple. Yes, but it's not easy to connect in one moment, so it's a long time. And we never know when we die. Never know. People die young, people die old. Look at this. So, Arjuna did not know whatever he should fight to risk. Oh, where does it go?
Quick question, which page is this?
Here it's 69.
Okay.
You got it?
Text 6.
You see here.
Text 6.
This is chapter 2, 6, page, text 8.
6.
2, 8. 2,
6.
7, 2, 8. We have 6 here. 2, 6. 2, 6, yeah. It's kind of different.
6.
Yeah, but then I did a bit different.
Yeah, it also looks different there too.
Yeah, it's a hardcover and softcover. This is printed in India. It was printed also in India, probably. In India, it's cheaper to print. You see. So we have 6, yeah? Arjuna did not know whatever should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas. Kshatriya means kings. Or whatever he should remain and live by begging. If he did not consider the enemy, if he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Sorry for my English. Nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them, as their cause was justified. So they actually fought for just cause, like was not really like a selfish motive in it. They want to protect the religion, protect dharma, and other side was really deviated from this point. And before the war started, we tried so many things. Tried diplomacy, tried bribery, and this counter-fighting, it's nothing you can do. The other side wanted to fight. Still, if sons of Dhritarashtra died in battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, what would another kind of defeat for them? Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All those considerations by Arjuna definitely prove that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and has complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in a royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as those qualities combined with his faith in the word of instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate it is considered that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was competent in those attributes over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships. So there is 4 stages in life, you can say. It's dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So if you perform your religious duties, it's called dharma. The artha comes. Comes material opulences. Opulences comes. Like it's hard to see now, because it's looked like by trick you can get so much wealth, not really trick, but to something or something. You can have a friend
luck,
cryptocurrency, this and that, invest. And I myself invested in one time in cryptocurrency. I put there at $5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's still there, but I have no idea how it works, I mean, for me it's looked like really gambling, and I don't know what this is, so I don't touch it, gambling, it's not a proper way of life, like this. So I understand there's a proper way of, if you learn like this works, you know, how you call it?
How to mine them.
Huh?
How to mine.
No, I'm not talking about cryptocurrency. I'm
Investment.
talking about like, you know, like
Sports betting.
like Wall Street or what? How we call it?
Stock market.
Stock market. It's not something which is beyond the realm of human understanding, and it's have some rules, you know. So some people gamble also there, but it's actually like a little bit. But if you know how market works, everything, so it could be your like a profession, and you can work on it. You know, so if you have this kind of mentality, understanding, it's probably could be. They didn't really like. I know one person using cryptocurrency, one devotee actually, he working like this. So he loses and he gains, and he have percentage of loss and gains, and he like exactly scientifically knows how it works, and this is how he lives. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, I was one of those kind of people following these people who were using astrology and numerology and all these many different scientific things to do it. But then I noticed that even those people, you know, if Krishna doesn't allow, their money that they gain is gone in an instant.
No.
So, and especially if they speak about it to others, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Astrology is good to see what kind of like time you have, what kind of influence of planets you have, like in time, and how to deal with it more or less. But originally, astrology it's also determining how to surrender to God. You know, actually, that's how everything is based on it. You know, it's not just it's a science. It's a science, astrology. But nowadays, it's become just like a fake thing. You know.
There's a fake side and the esoteric side. You know?
Yeah. Like for example, when I get married, so before I get married, you know, I consulted the astrologer. We have one devotee who's really good in it and really understand how it works. Because it's the influence of planets. So different planets influence differently. You know, according to your birth chart, times, he can even understand. But and the compatibility is actually very important. It will be easier to live. We have to deal anyway, you know, like, you know, with problems, with some misunderstandings. But it's like, if your percentage is bigger, it's easier, you know. Because the mentality more or less the same, you know, even the same, like, the birds of the same feather. So this is good to use astrology. Srila Prabhupada once like, okay, astrologer came, so he said, okay, let us have some fun, you know, like, see how it works. But astrology, for example, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, he was like a genius. He was the best mathematician in India, like, and best astrologer in India, and like this. And he gave it up because it doesn't predict the mercy of God. It can change. It's like if we are praising God and if we clap our hands, you know, if we chant Hare Krishna, for example, different like glorification of God, and we clap our hands, our lines are changing. So we have some influence, we can take advantage of it, but it's not absolute, 100%, like, you know, it's good that we integrate this. So you have dharma, you perform your religious duties, you get karma, artha, so it's opulences, like material opulences. It's come from dharma. So if people like really rich and really think they did something in the previous lives, we did some pious activity, 100%, doesn't work otherwise. It's not by chance. And then from artha comes kama. Kama is sense gratification. We can enjoy life, you know, like, because it's easier and nice. Like if you have opulences from artha, material opulences, you can enjoy. So you have also you have to choose, you know, like, or you be totally absorbed in sense gratification, or you develop your spiritual life. It's like, it's tricky. Like when you have a lot of money, it's difficult to surrender to God, you know. So you see, you have at the same time, you have a lot of time, you know, you don't have to work so hard, like, you know, so you can dedicate your life to like spiritual development, to divine. It's also, so you have to choose, every time you have to choose. And So dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Moksha, it's because we can't really satisfy ourselves by sense gratification. There's no chance. We get frustrated. You cannot, like, we have only a few senses, how much you can eat ice cream, so after sometimes the same thing with everything. Okay, so moksha. Moksha means liberation. You want to be free from everything. Like to stop existing, as Buddhists say, or merge into the light, like you personally say. Liberation, Okay, so dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This is how it works. And Arjuna understood everything. Actually, he knew everything, so he was not attached so much to this world because he understood it's all temporary. But he also understands his duty and spiritual life is more than just these four things. Like you have to go beyond. You have to go for eternity and relationships. Like this. And next one, 2.7. Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is the best for me. Now I am your disciple and soul surrender into you. Please instruct me. So at this point, they're friends, Krishna and Arjuna. But in this point, he surrenders. He said, please instruct me. So the relationship changes a little bit. Because he's become his teacher, guru, and he is becoming a disciple and listen to Krishna, to God. Now Krishna will explain everything. So see. So we to understand divine, to understand God, we have to come to this point of surrendering. There is no other way. No. In Sanskrit it's called kalana steva, nasteva, nasteva, 3 times. No other way, no gativa nyata. You see, so like this, we have to surrender. So by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. The complete system of material activities is a source. Srila Prabhupada is saying. In every step there is perplexity. Perplexity, struggle, difficulty, like this. And therefore, it behooves one to approach the bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. It's a very essential point. You have to come to the person who knows this truth, who representative of God, who have his own teachers. Like, I would not be telling you if I would not have spiritual master who told me to do this, so I'm telling you whatever he said. I'm just reading here, and trying to practice. That's why I dress like this. It's a dress, it doesn't, but it helps actually. So, acceptance of the authority is very important. Just by reading the Bhagavad Gita, like I told so many times, Bhagavad Gita is a secret knowledge. It's not. Why it's a secret if you can just buy a book and read it? Because we're trying to read it from our own perspective, from our level of our own intelligence. We can't really. But this knowledge called revealed knowledge. It's not just by our own efforts we can understand. It has to be revealed to us by Krishna, by God. It have to come from within us. God is inside of us too. Like you said about God within, and the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains it's even more than this. You have 3 features. You have called Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is the personality of Godhead, like Krishna. You have Brahman, is all-pervading energy. You have Paramatma, Lord in the heart. Everybody have Lord in the heart. So he's so merciful. God, he comes with our heart and always there. As a witness, as a helper, you're always trying to see when you come to me, come on. Trying to direct you, this, like this, like. So 3 features, not just one. So it's like God plus, Paramatma, yeah. All Vedic literature advises us to approach the bona fide spiritual master to get free from perplexity of life, which happens without our desire. We don't want difficulties, but it's always coming. They are like these perplexities, they are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being seen by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our waiting or wanting such conditions. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom, therefore, advised that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach the spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purpose of this verse. So it's a step to God realization, to approach this knowledge through the chain of the cyclic succession, called parampara in Sanskrit. So it's very important to understand. Who is the man in material perplexity? It is he who does not understand the problem of life. In Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, Upanishad is also different scriptures, different 3:10. The perplexities with man is described as follows: Yova eta aksharam gargi avaditam maloka prati sakripana. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problem of life as a human, and who thus quits this world like a cat and dog, without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is most valuable asset for the living entities who can utilize it for solving problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. So, as we discussed earlier, the soul is everywhere, in animal bodies, in tree bodies. What the difference is the consciousness. In human body, we can ask questions, we can understand why I'm suffering, who is God, what is our relationship, who am I, these questions must be asked. Why is suffering, stuff like this. Animal body, they don't. They don't ask. It goes like we said, instinct, instinct. They like a pain for their mistakes, This is the body, this is how it works, Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They don't know anything else. They can't ask questions. They can become attached to you and to food that you give, but not really. Anything else can happen. So human form of life is a very special body, it's a very special opportunity in somebody who don't utilize it properly is a miser, Prabhupada say. As Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad saying, he's a miser. He's not properly utilizing his life. You can say the human form of life is meant for self-realization because of its superior intelligence. You see, and if we don't live like this, if we just living for these 4 necessities, eating, sleeping, like mating and defending, we're not utilizing this valuable form. So if we misusing something, we will, if you how to say it? You can say if person live like a pig, he will become a pig. Because it's not like, let him enjoy better, like. You would not think too much, like why suffering this, you will just enjoy the pig. They enjoy themselves. I have a picture of a pig. It's like, really, my wife was telling about my son, in a mess in his room. And I come across, just a second, maybe I find it really fast, but this was really funny one. I don't find it fast. It's like, and it's enjoying himself. And there is a story in Srimad Bhagavatam, like in different, it's a story like a king of heaven, Indra become a pig. He was cursed by somebody, did something, I don't know. He became a pig, and they have his piglets and his wife pig, and he was really happy. He didn't remember anybody. But heaven without the king is like, it's like somebody have to take charge. So we come to him and said, come on, I have to go. He said, no, what about my family? What about my little pond, with dirt which I live in? It's like, no, I'm happy here, why I have to go somewhere else? Like this. Oh, here it is, it's a pig, you see? It's totally with ecstasy, like relaxing, And he said, my son, a teenager, was sleeping in his room, this is what he said. I was just joking. Yeah, they're happy. The animals are more or less, they don't understand why they suffer, and they always suffer. Like, they see these dogs here, they really like, it's royalty. If you go to India, you see what dogs means. Oh my God, this is so bad. It's really horrible. Like, it's amazing how, it's real suffering, and they don't understand. They still, see food, like, they go to eat, they see some female dog, they go to female, they see, like, just immediately, somebody, driving a scooter, to their territory, they start barking, like, really defend themselves, like this. Constantly, it's nothing else.
There's no thought process.
No.
Just do it.
You just go after his senses, Like Krishna will explain later on, how does it work, like how senses work, we have patterns, we see the object of the senses, we become attached, from attached lust develops, from lust is also desire to obtain, like in control. And then from lust, anger arises because we never get what we want, From arrogant delusion, like we forget it was already happened before, like it goes like this. It's a circle, and they explain everything, how senses work and how to control them, how to avoid this kind of situations. You see, it's called the science of self-realization. You get this book, right?
Yeah, the journey.
Arjuna and self-discovery. We have another book called Science of Self-Realization. It's different, like interviews and stories about the Bhagavad Gita. Different scientific person, religious people, how they approach it. Yeah. So problems of life. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana, or he who's intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Yayata ksharam kardi viti vamsaloka pratisa brahmana. The kripana or miserly person, there wastes the time in being overly affectionate for the family, society, country, etc. and the materialistic conception of life. One is often attached to the family life, namely to the wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin diseases, like this. The kripana, like skin disease means, you're born in a certain family, this is like your world, you don't see anything else. You don't see others, others like, opposed or friendly, it's like, you see everything. Because the family you're more close. It's like your blood. You know, like I see my son and I see son of somebody else, I see the difference. I feel different a little bit. Also, you understand, even you understand it, you know, like philosophically in your practice, and you actually try to see everybody like on the same level as spirit souls inside, you still have some attachments more, you know, like you can't avoid it. But, you know, the world is designed in such a way that we will see it in the end, that we cannot be overly attached to it. We have to do it as a duty, with love and affection and everything, but we have to understand our duty to God. It's most important duty. So, you know, it's also a statement in Shastra, in scripture, that don't become a king, a father, a mother, or a demigod, control the demigods, if you cannot deliver your dependent from the cycle of birth and death. So like that. So it's very important. If you have children, you have to educate them in a spiritual life, so they don't become a Kripana, they become a Brahmana. You know, like this. It's very important. And then they have to decide. You can't really like force anybody to love anyone, but we should try to give as much love and affection and knowledge as possible to others, you know, like in a family at least. Not always is possible, like for example parents, I talk to my mother and father, it's impossible. I think Jesus was saying something, so there is no profit in your own family, or in your own country. Yeah, there's a saying, statement like this. You can't, they don't see you. There's a familiarity. So the familiarity, this is why Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. Because the friendship is familiarity. Like, you know, the friends, you know, you cannot be friends if you're not equal. It's not supposed to be some equality. Even if it's God, so yeah, it's like, because it's a relationship, is love, you know, like so equal. Arjuna and Krishna. Also, Arjuna knows that Krishna is like superior, is like more powerful, but this affection to him as a friend is overpowering all this awe and reverence. It's more nicer. It's more than just opulence.
It's like a spiritual degree.
It's even here, like for example, you know, you have president of the country, you know, and his mother doesn't see him as a president, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They said, but your son is president. Yeah, I know, but his son, you know, like it's not really. She's very proud about it, but it's not like relationship is different. So you have, we call it rasa, the relationship. So it's called Vatsalya Ras, the parenthood. And this is, you understand?
Yeah.
You see? So everything comes from God, also the same thing comes. Okay, where we are? From the society we can save. So the Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death. Or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachments can be found even in the lowest animals, who take care of the children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from the death were the cause of his perplexity. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offered himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talk between the master and disciple are serious, and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. Now Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita how Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need to submit to Krishna, not need to submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. It's like, it's not a personality, but something, some energy comes, through. It's just little. There is no difference between Krishna within and Krishna without. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So as I explained before, so Krishna is within, as a Paramatma, and without. Is the same person, different feature. Like this. And here was another very nice. Okay, well, so many points in this. All the time. Oh, very good. Very good. There's so much I can.
Like it's interesting part here that here Srila Prabhupada is saying that conversation between teacher, spiritual teacher, and spiritual masters are always serious. Because like as Prabhu explained, like it was friendly relationships when people can talk about different things, they can joke, they can kind of not really trust each other because you don't really know like is friend joking at this moment or no, like it can be just different talks. But at this point, Arjuna accepted Krishna as spiritual master, so then he like really teach me, like I'm here for you to give me knowledge, and please give me knowledge, I will accept it, so I'm very serious now. And this is like a shift we sometimes need to make if you would like to get knowledge. If you come to university, you might have a good relationship with the professor, but if you would like to learn from him, you really need to listen carefully and like accept everything that was said, like do all the homework, all assignments, right? Like become serious to study.
It's just because I'm a teacher at school, and sometimes the older kids, I have three boys in grade 7, they are not accepting me sometimes as a teacher. But you can really feel when they shift. They're still going back and forth. Sometimes they see me as a mother, and sometimes they see me as a teacher. But I can really see when they're ready to listen, then I can say something and they will like absorb something. I remember Patri Prabhu explained the word, this was the word understand. He was explaining about the bottle of water, and he was saying that the lid of the water bottle spoke to the water bottle that you are giving water to everyone and not to me. Why not to me? And the water bottle told the lid that you need to understand, you need to stand under so I can pour something into you.
So yeah, this is a very important point actually, that not just that here in Bhagavad Gita you can see teacher is qualified as Krishna himself, and Arjuna is qualified as accepting as a disciple. So in every like part of studying have to be also students and teacher have to be qualified. And you have this mantra man in the mind tries to free, you can say that. It's a transcendental sound vibration or prayer which is purifying our mind from material consciousness, you can say. Different mantras there. There is a mantra, I can sing it, Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Punaktu, Saha Viryan Karavavahai, Tejasvino Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. It means, like, let us, it's a glorification of the students and the teacher, and also prayer as like, let for the students be receptive, and for the teacher reveal the knowledge, which is like, it's like, so it's bring auspiciousness and the prayer at the same time, like this. So it's very important. Yeah.
I was wondering how long Arjuna and Krishna knew each other, and why, if they knew a long time, how come it took so long for Arjuna to realize, oh, actually, now I take it seriously?
Well, we can understand that Arjuna is a pure devotee. Actually, he knows everything. It's not that like he's like ignorant. He doesn't understand his position, what he's supposed to do. He was trained from very, very early age, to all the signs of God and everything. He knows everything. Don't think otherwise. But for our sake, Krishna put him in a little bit perplexity, like his feelings, in the situation. It's an intense situation, you can say. It's really intense situation. But Arjuna was not bewildered. But for our sakes, to Bhagavad Gita to be spoken, he was feeling this way. It's not like he's not understanding what's going on. Like this. It's for our sake, Arjuna take this position of the disciple. The relationship between Krishna and Arjuna is eternal. They know each other. If you read the Bhagavatam, you have Narayan and so many. He's everywhere. He's actually in many places there. There's Krishna. He's a friend. It's an eternal relationship with him. Like we are spirit soul, we have eternal relationship with God. We are now conditioned souls, we call it. We conditioned by our ahankara, our egoistic thinking. It's called ahankara, false ego. You have real ego as a spirit soul, like a Satchitananda Vigraha body, like eternity, knowledge and bliss. Soul made from these energies, Satchitananda. It's a real body. This is like a covering for the soul. It's like our clothes have the shape of the body. The same, the body have the shape of the soul, you can say. It's not like ugly like this, but it's also beautiful and it's shiny and effulgent and full. So, but we are conditioned. We are conditioned because we want to enjoy separately from God. We want to enjoy and we have this place, so there we can exercise with desire. It's not like He put us here, like God is not like an old man with magnified glasses looking at us and telling us to go to hell. It's not His point. Why would He do this? But because this is our desire, we want to be like this. It's not His fault.
Was it their desire to have this war then, right? Both families had the ego basically and had the war.
Not really that simple, Like Arjuna and his 5 brothers were royal and they're supposed to rule the world and they're saintly people. They're like following dharma and, like for the blessings of taking care of the people and everything, like this. The other party, for some reason they want to control. It's maybe sort of different. He was ruling the place, like the Duryodhana was ruling the place. Everybody who lives with it, everything is provided. It's not like, here you have such differences, Everybody was taken care of. But spiritually, Duryodhana was really wanted to control for himself. Eve wanted. It's called Ishwaraham Aham Bhogi Ishvara. Yeah, I'm an enjoyer and I am a controller. Not you acting on behalf of God to rule the place. It's like the country of Canada, it's not made by Canadians. No, who is here the king?
King Charles.
You have Charles, right. But this monarchy is something, anyway, it's not his land, land belonged to God. So God created it and he have to use his power, his position to take care of the land and the people for God, not to forget it, for God, for this is his position. He was trying to enjoy it himself like royalty, and I have everything, and I'm born into it. And so many things you can say. It's just not proper. Even if you try to control and to manage, you have ministers who managing, you have structure, It's also a structural thing, you know. You're managing this for his own personal sense gratification. His desire to control and enjoy, you know, like this. Not for benefit of the people, you know. It's not a proper way to use it. The same thing there. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, his son, he was doing it like this, you know. He was managing everything okay, but the motive was wrong. And this is not proper religious duty of the Kshatriya or king. So it's have to be corrected. So this is why this war is come out. It's, if you read the history of Mahabharata, it's many places where it's could be corrected, you know, but they didn't agree like this, you know. So that's why it's come to the point of war. And it's also Bhagavad Gita explained, I think, the third chapter, why it was like, why it was actually, why it come to the war. Because God come here to Patritranaya sadhunam vinashacha duskritam. So the reason for the Lord to appear is also to annihilate the miscreants and to protect devotees. So it's very difficult times. He come himself and just kill everybody, you know, like you can say. So, but this is mercy, you know, to be killed by God is the same as get the blessings. It doesn't really change. If you see God and He kills you in a good situation. Maybe relationship will be like more difficult to develop, but but it's a blessing, you know. The same. It is also explained with somebody who died in a religious war, they all go to heaven. There's no loss. This also will be explained in Bhagavad Gita.
Basically, the oppressive government and also people who needed help. So this had to be done. That's why Krishna was okay with it, and explaining to Arjuna why it's okay.
Yeah, well, more. Yeah, not more or less like this. But mostly this Bhagavad Gita was explaining, you know, the spiritual knowledge. And in the end of the Gita, he said, okay, now you heard the knowledge, you know everything. Now you have to decide what you're going to do. You see, and everybody heard it, and everybody decided what to do. You see, but because we have our desires, and they many times overpower our intelligence, we act in certain ways. You see.
Yeah, so, do you know how the karma, I feel like, works here every second? In those times, without the war, wouldn't karma just solve that issue? Like somehow take control from these people who are doing it badly, and you know, always give them sickness or whatever, you know, however karma works.
No, like this, you know, it's more
It
interesting way. You know, you forget Krishna, you know, you want fight, you want relationship, you want story, you enjoy the association, you know. So he comes, appear millennium after millennium to do things, you know, like to see his devotees. He is very kind, merciful, and also enjoying himself. Right, good fight is interesting, you know, right? You know, like you have, you know, if you see people fighting, you have this wrestling association, you know, like, okay, it's really strange. But, you know, you enjoy, like, really good fight, you know, you see the movie then, really, like, you know, clever fair fighting, it's enjoyable. So, where did everything come from?
Was it fair fight though?
Huh?
Fair fight?
Definitely.
Because fair fight is more enjoyable.
Fair fight, like anything, but also somebody is more skilled, somebody less skilled, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's many things. It's also, with Kshatriyas, we don't fight unfair. You don't never fight unfair. And never fight with normal people because it's no point. They only fight with warriors who are equal to them. And, you know, in the beginning of it's like this, then, like, we don't fight at night, you know, for example, they have so many rules, you know, like, why? We don't, like, so in the morning, we do some religious duties, we go to fighting, you know, like this, blow the conch, the war started. Like, 9 to 5, 5 o'clock finished, you know, to do, finished. We go eat together, you know, like we fight, you know. It's a certain mood, certain rasa, you know, it's not just you throw something and you just. It's not like that. It's because we understand the power comes from God. It's there is some desire of for establishing the principles of religion. It's not like the kingdom so have to be run properly. It's a religious form. It's not. And it's always fighting. From time immemorial. The diplomacy goes like this. First you say sweet words, you're trying to resolve it, then you bribe somebody. If he doesn't understand, you stick, you have to. You also have to protect yourself because, people not always righteous, you try to steal and things like that, so king have an army, it's everything, it's interaction.
But does it also change with holy war? Because I know from some religions they say to kill someone is to kill everyone, almost like it's very bad. But in this specific holy war, to be killed or to kill is like you are sending them to heaven anyway. So it's basically almost like a fun thing in a way. Would you say?
Kshatriyas are very special people, and this holy wars of now. It's that they know how it starts. Some guys sit together and say, "Oh, I feel like God telling me to kill these people because they don't believe in what I believe." Yeah. It's not holy act, Another guy say, "Yeah," and what's going on? What's happening? It's nothing to do with God. Because we discussed it earlier, like how to understand the truth. You have 3 points. You have scriptures by God, it's the rules how to live our life. You have Manu Samhita, all the rules, of the king, of the worker, of this is written, and what's law of karma, everything is written. And what you should do, to purify ourselves is written. So it's the scriptures, the laws. So scriptures, you have spiritual master who teaching the scripture. Yeah, so everything you say, if it's holy war, you have to consult the brahmanas, consult the religious people who see it from different perspective of renunciation from material position, and knowledge of God, if it's actually holy or not. And you have the saintly person who live according to scriptures and listen to the teacher. So it's 3, it's like scriptures, the guru, and the sadhu. Sadhu Guru Shastra it's called. If it's 3 goes together, so it's proper. And before it was like the religious people were advising to the kings. We can see it in like who was conquering India? Caesar? No. Alexander came a Brahman, religious guy, who'd given an advice. He's always asking him advice. Should I do this? Should I do that? And he was always successful. In one point, the Brahman, the religious guy, he said, "Don't do this. It's not proper." And Alexander said, "No, but this is it is such a good situation, and he went for it. And the Brahman left. And Alexander lost everything. Because he didn't follow the dharma, the shastras, the scripture, the religious understanding. Brahmanas, they're not dependent on the king, the religious people. They're dependent on God. 100%. They're not really. Why they say you can kill Drona? Because he was dependent on a kingdom for some reason. There was some story about it too. So he come to the battlefield, you can kill him. But otherwise, Brahmanas, very dependent on God. So, what I was talking about.
The Brahmins, they consult the...
They consult the king. So if it's religious war, you have religious people who are not involved and not dependent anyhow on anybody.
War.
He was Kshatriya in this war, so he come to the battlefield to fight. Mm-hmm. So he's not a Brahman anymore. Mm-hmm. You can kill him.
Okay.
But
when he taught them,
he was Brahman. Is Brahmana is a religious teacher. So Brahmana, he can teach, he can learn anything, he can teach anything. So he was teaching Dharma Shastra or Dhanurveda. Dhanurveda is it's a knowledge about warfare and fighting and everything like this. This was his field, you know. He have more, like I said in the beginning, have goodness, passion, and ignorance. So the Brahmanas were in goodness, but like for example, he had a little bit more passion, you know. So he wanted to. He had a story about it too, you know. Like it's all very beautiful culture that we like presented. It's all interconnected as well. It's very interesting. So we are different because we have different like mixes of these modes of material nature, ignorance, passion, and goodness. So it's like tree, right? You know, tree. You combine in tree and 281, right? 3 by 3, 9, 9 by 9, 81. If you go like this, it's become 8,400,000. So this is how many species of life you have. 8,400,000 species of life.
Ah, that's why.
That's why
That's
we all
how
mix
they calculate.
differently a little bit, you know. So in the Bhagavad Gita, in I think third or fourth chapter is explained there is species of life, 8,400,000 species. From little like, you know, bacteria to Indra, to King of Heaven. So 400,000 is a human form of life. We have different forms of life. Even in this world, we have Pulingas, Pulkashas, Kinas, different ones, you know, like. And they have a little different mix, you know, like this. But they're all humans, so we can understand the truth, you know. And we have certain amount of birds. Dvipada Pashu is like they have 2 legs, you know, they don't have hands, you know. Dvipada Pashu. Birds, right? And you have these different animals who have hooves, and you have. I mean, it's all explained. All very, very scientific, very interesting, actually. As I said in the very, very beginning, the Bhagavad Gita is like a manual for human life. You know, it's like we get anything, you know, we can misuse it, you know, if you don't know how to do it. You know, but in the human form of life, you don't know what to do with it. You know, actually, mostly people doesn't do it. Yeah, I didn't know, you know, when I was younger. But then I come to Bhagavad Gita to explain what human life is for, and how to use it in self-realization. You see. So, yeah. I hope it's not too much information at first.
No.
Like this. So next one, 2:8. I mean, there's a clock here before.
Or
Right?
8:46.
It was really. I can read another one, you know. Oh, it's longer. Well, we'll see. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with this sovereignty like demigods in heaven. I know what it means sometimes, you know, like, sorry, it's not my. I was born in Russia, you know, and grew up in Israel. And like, you know, I lived in Belgium, in Europe for like 10 years, studied in England, you know, all over the place.
In India too, right?
Yeah, I was 5 years in India, I was 12 years, you know. I lost my sense of identity on the way, you know, so I can't really say Russian, I'm not Russian, you know. My Guru Maharaj says, like, you can't do that, wow, you're born in Russia, but you're not Russian, you know. I act differently, you know, but you're not Israeli either. And anyway, we have to stop identify ourselves with this material designation, we are spirit souls, you know, it's like, you have to identify yourself with Vaishnava culture, this is what they said, this is Vedic culture, this is spiritual culture. And Srila Prabhupada explained we have these designations like we are not actually black or white or woman or female or male, you know. Now this movement comes along with LGBT+. I was thinking, wow, it's cool. People not really identified as a body anymore. But then it's become even more identified with the body, with the mental state. It's like anyway. So, but actually, it's true. They are not these bodies. And it's maybe some truth in it. We're not these bodies. But we're not other bodies. We're just spirit souls. It's like spiritual beings. And we're conditioned by this material mind, we can say. We think are man, we're woman, we're black, white, Jewish, Russian, like Canadian, American, Indian, but we are not.
Would Bhagavad Gita say that we came here willingly and that we will always eventually return back?
Yes.
Sorry.
That's what is. It's like each country have a prison, right? But because somebody doesn't behave properly, you just wanted to take it, or somebody is attacking it, just kills. So so many things can happen. And it's not like they want to build a prison, but it's necessary. If somebody will behave not rightly. So, but the idea of the prison is to rehabilitate people. If you rehabilitate, you go back to the society. You can integrate nicely. You see. And because you cannot integrate, you cannot let somebody into the place if you disturbing everyone. If you're indifferent, you can't. So we have this place where we can try to exercise our desires, but eventually we get bored. It's the same thing again and again. Like we say, there are reincarnations. It's like we always accepting some other body. We go through the same thing again. Birth, growth, reproduction, old age, disease and death, every time, and by the mercy of Krishna, we forget it before the next life. We just forget. We start over, because otherwise it would be not possible to live, come on, how many times I did that? Srila Prabhupada giving examples like chewing the chew. Like you chew the chewing gum and you put it on the desk, next day you come and put it again, But sometimes it's already nothing, you don't have no taste in it, but you're still chewing, because of some condition.
Because everyone else is doing it.
Oh, everyone else is doing it, or you just get used to it so much, and sometimes you don't understand, why I'm doing it again, It's like, you have nothing else, nothing better. So slowly, when you come to the point that, come on, So Krishna is sitting in our hearts and waiting when you turn to him, please surrender, please tell me what to do. As Arjuna said, tell me what should I do? I cannot do it anymore. I cannot fight this war and kill somebody just because I want some kingdom and some enjoyment. How many times I have to go to work and struggle and get not enough money, to live. For what? What's the point of it? And explaining the point. And the point is changing the consciousness, not the activity all the time, most of the time. The consciousness is most important thing. You have to be changed. You have to dedicate to the divine, to Krishna, to Lord.
It's like enjoyment of remembering.
Huh?
Enjoyment from remembering.
Yeah, Shravan. Yeah, Smarana. It's called remembering the Lord. In all your activity, you're taking care of your family, so they can become God conscious. Remembrance is very important. Called Shravan in Sanskrit.
But how people start to analyzing? Because I can see my parents and other people, they don't ask this question, why am I doing that? They are okay in doing
the same thing, somebody.
But how this,
I had this question in my head also one time. I don't understand why people don't really, and then I see different religions as well, you can see that some religions are very simple, some are really complicated, they're too complicated. Some people are easy for them just to have a family and we don't want anything else, you know. It's different consciousness, different development, you know. They didn't meet the right people, maybe. We didn't get...
Does it come
The humility
from,
is not there most of the
does
time.
it come from the association with someone, or I
Normally, yes. But as they say, bhakti or love of God, it's independent. It's not dependent on any situation. It's just by the mercy of the Lord we can come in contact with His energy and develop. You know. So, anya bilashita sunyam jnana karma anuvritam. So it's not depend on our activity or karma on anything. It just, but most of the time it depends on the mercy of the people who are spiritually advanced, you know, like. And it's very important then to have association or we come in contact. We will come in contact. I believe everybody will come in contact with some spiritual activity, pure one. You don't have to change your religion or something. Everywhere you have love of God, every religion created by the God. It's not whimsically, only if it's like really whimsically, you know, so people create religion. But you know, like Christianity or Aramaic religions, you know, they come through the disciplic succession, through that sound knowledge is there. You know, it's a cheat potency, knowledge potency is there. If it's not there, it doesn't exist. It doesn't last longer. And I mean, yeah. So, but certain group of people, they attach to certain things. And they're given by God certain rules to follow to purify themselves. You know? Like Judaism, they have this kosher things. You heard about kosher?
Yeah, kosher.
So kosher means you don't eat milk and like products and meat together. If you read why, you will not. I read why. It's said in such a horrible way. You cannot mix the milk of the mother with the meat of her child. You know, like how can you eat it anyway after it? You know, like just to think about it. You know, but people don't think like this. They attach to different part of this tradition. They see like, you know, I'm Jewish and I have rules. And these rules will bring me prosperity and enjoyment. So God give them rules, you know, so we can separate. And they can see their reality in it as well. But not everybody interested in seeing this reality. At least we believe in God, we have some stepping stone. We have some rules, you know. Mm-hmm. So maybe by following these rules, we come in contact with people who are spiritually advanced and pure, and they get more understanding and knowledge. Because spiritual knowledge, it never lost. Like if you have material knowledge and material prosperity and everything, you die, you're gone. Spiritual, you always carry it with you. And a little advancement on this path can protect you from most dangerous stuff of fear. So we call it, in Sanskrit, sukriti. It's called sukriti, spiritual credit. So when it's slowly building in our great attempt to enjoy here, but Krishna is very merciful, he comes in many different ways. And you want us back, you know, like who doesn't want your friend back, you know, like a father, for example. I have a really rich father, but his son is rebellious and he went away, you know, and he doesn't want to do anything with the father. But father always has him in heart, you know, and when he comes back, he's so happy, you know, right? So the Krishna is the same, you know, we went away, you know, doing things, you know, but when he turned to him, he's so happy. The same way. And slowly, I mean, the security comes and you meet devotees and you start, you know, a spiritual life again. You know, that's why, you know, for example, me, when I met, I could understand that this is like maybe previous life something, you know. Because I have a good friend, you know, and we have another friend. He kind of interested in Krishna consciousness and brought us this mantra, Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, on a card, you know, and I give it to my friend. And it was like, yeah, and I took it and I read it, you know, like, and I was so like mesmerized, you know, like it was really like, wow. You know, and I give it back, I didn't really like, but my friend Nothing happened. So, and then, but I wasn't ready, so Krishna having his ways, like how to put me in the corner, and I said, please let me understand what's going on, And sending people like my grandmother, I always remember her, like her name was Hanagita, my grandmother. And Krishna have his ways, like it's not by chance we get born in some families. And it's not a statement of pride, because, we all come to this point. We all hopefully will be born proper. We will come to this point of spiritual consciousness. This is much of what was created for this purpose. So we get frustrated and we surrender and we develop spiritual. There's no alternative in this world. It's no happiness. The happiness of the sense gratification and material life is compared to the drop of water in the desert. It's not enough. We need the ocean, to be satisfied, like this. Because this place is really dry, frustrating very much. Come to Canada, and people so much proud Canadian, I see everywhere, and this looks like an industrial park for me, you've been in Rome? Anybody been in Rome? My God, it's not so different. They have like history and culture and everything. You go to India, you go to South India, they have temples which is like 4 million years old. It's like, it's made in such a, it's a temple which made from, it was a mountain, and we carved it from the top to the bottom, like this. It's impossible. It's so much culture, beauty, and here we have like this square Art Deco style buildings, and it's not so much, it's very difficult to live, today in the morning it was -3, like it's April, give me a break. It's a difficult place to live, but it's still God's creation, it's not like it's different from His creation. Still.
Does Bhagavad Gita talk about any spirits who came to earth in order to almost like either end the reincarnation cycle or to save as many spirits as possible to go back to almost like Goloka, back to Krishna state?
Yeah, it's also possible like this. You have you have two types of soul called Nitya Siddha and Nitya Baddha, eternally free and eternally conditioned. It's said in a sense that we hear from time immemorial, so we conditioned spirit souls, And people like Srila Prabhupada, they come here to free us, to deliver. They send different prophets, different traditions, like Jesus. I'm sorry, I didn't follow.
I was referencing that in my head as well.
Yeah, so it's considered to be Son of God and every it's become like more godly because the understanding of Trinity is a little bit lost. Like the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. It's a little bit lost in its tradition. So think that the Father and the Son and Holy Ghost is the same, but the same in quality and the different in quantity, you can say. So it's a separate energy. So, what was it?
Yeah, I was curious about the other spirits who come here to liberate others and end their reincarnation cycle if possible. Because that's what I want to do. But yeah.
To come to save people or finish your reincarnation cycle?
Not just mine, everyone else.
So it's very, very good idea, actually. This is what devotees do, they don't mind to suffer. You have this devotee, you have this like secret mantras, names of God normally, and they don't say it to anybody. Like a Jewish tradition, you cannot say the name of God, right? Before it was secret, but it's degraded a little bit. So Brahmanas, like priests, they knew the name of God. It's a very powerful word, something like, But then they start cursing with the name of God, in this age. And they say, no, you cannot say the name of God. And it's become like God have no name. So just forget about it. So this Imachari was it, right? Who heard the Om Namo Bhagavate. There was one devotee his guru, he was very devoted, very knowledgeable, and his guru said, okay, I give you the name of God, like a mantra, and you chant this mantra, don't tell to anybody, and you chant this mantra, you go back to Godhead. You go back to spiritual world. So he told him, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Vasudeva, it's a mantra. So what he did, he went, he called everybody, and he said this mantra to everyone. And his guru said, I told you not to give, you will go to hell. And said, I may go to hell, but all these people get liberated, like. He was so inspired, and his guru was so ecstatic. He said, you understand the meaning of devotion of the God. So, and also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, somebody who said, is my devotee, is not my devotee. But somebody who said, is devotee of my devotee, is my devotee. Serve my dog, it's very close. So if you do, also explain, if you preach, if you explain this knowledge to others, you're very dear. You're very dear to himself, to Krishna. So it's very, very, very proper attitude,
It's even talked about, and there's many others.
It's actually also there. Also, that's why Arjuna became bewildered, so we can hear everything, the spiritual knowledge and everything. This proper attitude. You have many examples, Kulavesha Sridhar, and he said, just take all the sins, whatever have in this universe, put it on my head and let everybody be liberated. And Lord Chaitanya said, just by you saying this, we're already liberated. You don't have to suffer, all these sins. It's not a problem. It's not a big deal. One universe, this is filled up again because there's so many souls. But it's unlimited. It's not like this. But Srila Prabhupada, even, he comes here Jesus came, Muhammad came, to the certain group of people to lift them up, And if you read the commandments, actually, so Aramaic traditions, they are the same. May say they're different, but if you study, it's the same. The Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they're the same. It's just different people. They have different they need if you see the rules, the Jewish have very complicated rules. Really, they can't really follow them. Mostly they come to 10 commandments. Right? And Christians the same, but rules for Muslims were more intense, the same rules, but they're written in a more intense way. Still, is the same rules: don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery. 10. So this was preached to the people who are doing this. It's not like you have to tell me, don't kill. And now they interpreted it, don't kill humans, you can kill animals. But it is not an original text, like this. See, they're everywhere, it's And, but people are different. People attach to certain things, to the family, friendship, society, faith, So we need to be a little bit different.
It seems to me like all these different religions are touching the different parts of the elephant, but some religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Gnosticism touch closer to the head maybe, and or whatever. But yeah, that's what it seems like going on.
It's one religion. It's like one way. One way is hell in one place and spiritual world in another, and the religious people are somewhere in the middle, try to fight each other who is better. But actually, it's one because God is one. It's not two. It's not like, you go and sit there, they fight each other and sometimes one wins, sometimes another. No. It's not like this. It's not, it's really funny actually, I never understood why the concept of satanic things is exists. What I mean, serve some political and sentimental have some values, you know, but and it's explained that before it was no sin, you know, like, and then the demonic and divine people, you know, like godly people who live in different planets, rather they live in the same planet but in different continents, like, you know, they don't associate with each other, like, you can say, and now, in this age, is age called Kali Yuga, quarrel and hypocrisy age, it's like they live in the same body, you know. We have so much fight, the demonic and divine, you know, fight in our hearts. You know. This is becoming more complicated. And more easy to be free, but more complicated.
But it seems like karma still only like with matching frequencies, it allows you to match with those frequencies of more divine. If you are getting more divine versus if you're getting more demonic, right away karma shows you more demonic people. But all parts seems to understand the timeless nature of this place still, when it comes to the scriptures, their teachings.
I know this movie. I had this movie. You look at my daughter. What is this name of this movie? It's like they have this like different dimension where all the smart people lives, you know, like develop things. And she gets like a token, you know, and she touches it and she sees a different world, you know. What was this thing? Come on, it's this John Clooney is there, you know, like playing the role. Yeah. There's the role there. Anyway, the point was, you know, she's talking to her father, you know, like, you have two wolves, two animals. One is like demonic and another is divine, you know. And they kind of always fighting with each other, you know, like, so asking who wins? Who's gonna win, the bad one or the good one? And the answer was one who you feed, you know. You feed the good one, he wins. You feed the bad one, he wins, you know. This is the choices we have to make. So it's mostly everyday battle, you know. Still, if it's a practice and detachment, it's become easier and easier, you know. But it's always practice. It's always I was actually, you know, when I started my journey, you know, I didn't like Judaism because it was like a business all the time. For some reason, you know, it goes like, you know, this is why Jesus came to Jews, you know, that they were selling the scriptures, you know, selling blessings. We still do this, actually. It wasn't really my thing, you know, I didn't get into it so much. But like Christianity, I see the churches and stuff, you know, where I live. And it was like interesting, okay, Christian. So I went to study. I actually went to study Jerusalem. I went to Catholic church, and we have this priest Antonio Lazarev. They sent me to him, you know, like. And in Tenerife, I went to this church, Antonio Church, and he was teaching us like how to about Christianity, the Bible, and I couldn't understand it actually, you know. There was no rules, no more or less practice was like really simple, you know, like it's not giving me answers for every single karma idea that I have in my head. He was very nice, but I don't think people really listen to him so much. You know, but they try to be good and nice and preach. And it's based on faith, so it was not really enough for me. You see, why? And after I understood why, because the religion and philosophy explain the rules of the religion, you know, and in religious rules have to be like, they're for purification of your existence. So, but you have to know the goal of the rule, for example, you know, something like that, you know. So philosophy and religion have to go together. Because if it's only religion, it's become sentimental or fanatical. You know, this is like this and that's it. Why? Nobody knows. Or if it's philosophical without any rules and regulations and religious duties, like it's become mental speculation. It's like this, like this. But there's no structure, so it have to be together. It have to be proper rules and regulations, proper practice, and explanation, philosophy, and have to go together. It's just like two rails of the train.